Technological progress is too fast for any traditional school education to catch up. A couple years ago I was working as a software developer, project manager. Before that I didn't do any programming for years, and in 1 year I learned to program mobile apps, work on back-end server side of the system for the application ecosystem I was working on, and learn to make and compile Android applications. In a 1 year time I learned to program and develop 5 apps, mobile apps, that work with the remote APIs backend, and worked on the custom APIs. I started from the manual for my computer, MSX and Commodore 64, Basic, MS Basic. I did take a course for C++, but didn't work much in C++ yet. But now at my age I'm just unemployable anymore. I can't stand anybody. Any management, project leadership, management leadership. I'm too old. I'm fed up with corporate state of mind and development. So in the 80s I just took a computer manual and typed manually the software from the handbooks, the examples. But actually it took me decades to develop proper model for software designing, mental model. Well, actually, you're welcome. That's why I'm here. Have a pleasant evening. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. small challenge here. I think that's the way it should go. I think I have this sorted. I'm trying to connect the cable for the front panel controls. There's a jack. There is only one way, which is this way, and I got it. Hey, King Buddy, how you doing? I just finished putting together, connecting the monitor I repaired for PC. I have this one, 10 years old monitor, and here's the final clicks, closing it together. That's the sound of completion. Some, let's say, philosophical questions, subjects. I declare this monitor ready for production. Power cable going in. No weird sound. Press the power button and voila! Automatic adjustment. Pushing it weird. Let's grab the settings for the display. Display properties. Identify 1, 2, 3. Display 3. Ten 2476. This is 1080p 9020 resolution display. Here it is. Keep changes. No, I fixed this. This is today's work. VGA 1080p monitor ready for production. It's been sitting on a workbench from January, waiting to put it together. And finally it's done. Probably this center monitor with this smaller one, because this is a big TV and I need 2 more screens here. And this one is giving me issues. This is 15 years old. BenQ 19 20-inch 4x3. This all went better than I expected. And again, I was really pushing myself to get this on stream done. I was really lazy and slow, but I kind of came to terms that in my age everything will be from now on that way, so I can just ignore that and keep working on my own pace, tempo, and still get things done. What next? Next is arrange the production setup for videos. Now I have this that I fixed, and this one here. This Philips TV little one also. I made the power supply for it, actually just modified the adapter for it. It's 12 volt DC, it's not 220. So I might, if I fix this one, I'll put it vertically, or this one, or this one, top, and replace this big one that I'll use for premium content gaming. Smaller one. So if I, for a test, push this back, I can now take a measure how much space will all this new placement stuff take. Will it provide me some room? Smaller one, like that. Can I fit 4 smaller monitors over here? All this work desk, and the whole of this construction, the working surfaces, and the scaffold, skeleton construction I made myself, custom built from old furniture and some materials like these huge beams, wood beams, that were actually parts of old roof construction